So we're here with one of these solar trackers. Got this thing just set up to a 12 volt battery, and we're on the countdown. Looks like this thing obviously starts at 1,000 seconds and counts down, so that's about 16 minutes. Got the sensor here, but I'm not worried about that. All I want to see is what happens when this reaches 0. This is across the output. In the testing phase and setup phase, I can reverse the polarity. At the moment there's nothing there, so on the countdown of 9, 8, 7, 6, we'll see what happens over here. Click, and it's going to the west. Okay, so this must be pre-programmed. My dilemma with this thing is I've got no idea how to program this, but I think I've figured out what the problem was that stopped it from working, and it was actually a shitty wire. The earth wire was all, well, it looked all black and charred, and I've got some photos of, not before but during the process of actually sandpapering off the black stuff, which I now suspect excuse me, chop, edit. I was sandpapering what appeared to be the plastic from making the black wire, I reckon. I don't think the wire was charred as much as it's coated in black plastic. The actual black wire in this looks like it's been badly made. That's because it's made in a particular country. I don't know, I can't remember what that country is. Somebody out there can leave a note in the comments. I'm sure they'll think of it. I don't know where they make this stuff, but there we go. So now it's timed, and it says it's going to the east, so I don't know really what's going on here, but this is better than what this thing had when my friend brought it to me. He said, oh, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, so I'll attempt to assemble some instructions for this thing. It's a bit of a furphy. There's another video out there that I found that I'll leave a link to in the description downstairs. That sun too low lock. Okay, so because of course we're not in sunlight, I haven't taken this outside yet. That's not the purpose. But what I've confirmed is that I have a situation where I'm actually getting reversal of polarity on the output as designed. It's now functioning properly where I have control over the display. If I can find the remote control about here. The instruction that I've seen somewhere else suggests that is the remote control. If I hold it around the right way, that's where the infrared stuff comes out, and that's where the receiver is. That little guy, you see if I can get my finger in the right spot, that fella there, and I can show you how to make that work in a moment. But basically the instruction for turning the display illumination off or light is to hold the quit button for 5 seconds. 3, 4, there we go, and it just toggles it on and off. So I'll give it another 5 seconds, I can bring it back up again. Now I had a lot of trouble with this at the beginning. Here we go, should come on, there we go. So the display's on. Had a lot of trouble with this at the beginning, and it was so unreliable and didn't seem to function. I thought my mate was right that the thing was stuffed. Insert profanity here. But in fact, when I found this black wire, the earth wire for the power supply, to have, well, I thought it was charred. I thought he'd burnt something or whatever, which is not unlikely for him. He's kind of a bit of a ragtag operator. But having said that, I've got to edit that out too, I suppose. Yeah, it seems that this thing works. Now let's have a look. So the remote control has these various controls up here. Unfortunately I've only got 2 hands, otherwise I'll get another camera out and show you what I'm pressing. But I might try and just see what I can do here. Now the set button, if I press that, maybe I have to hold that. No, I had this working. Oh, that's the quit button, dummy. the set button. Here we go. I find myself in this mode here, and I don't know what F means, and I don't know what G means. I know what manual means, but now if I use these directional buttons here, there's a west, there's an east, I'll show you what happens. And we might be able to derive some instruction from that. So the multimeter here, as I said, is sitting across the output. At the moment, nothing's happening. If I press the west button, there we go, I get a click. If I press and hold that west button, there we go, I get negative polarity to the multimeter when I'm holding west. And I'm holding that, well, I was holding that down. And if I do east, note the lead comes on green, and here we are, we're in positive polarity, as it were, right? Forward polarity, we'll call that. Take my finger off the east button, which was that critter there. Okay, east. Now I'll try the west button. Press and hold. There we go. And you can see the polarity is reversed to the meter, so it would be driving any actuator in the reverse direction, hopefully to the west, and that's what it says there. Okay, again, F and G haven't changed. I'll show you that in a moment. Now, there's also this W up and E down, whatever that does, and I suspect that's like a fine adjustment. So if I operate that, there we go, west lock. That's pressing that button. So somehow it locks the situation and locks the light and locks the drive. So if you had an actuator connected to this, when you get to the west lock position, that actuator is just heading in one direction and it's continuous because that's the output from the relays here, the H bridge. Okay, so now I'm going to press the bottom button here, which is E plus, and that's obviously going to lock it. No, I pressed it. If I press and hold, then it's locked. And there we go. The polarity's changed. So now the actuator's heading in the other direction. There it goes. You can see it going past the screen. Actuating. Right? And the green light's on. Now, how do we get out of that mode? Press the set button, maybe. There we go. Set button. Yeah, the set button brings it out of that mode. Now, the quit button brings it back to this, and here's the countdown timer starting right there. Oh, stupid me, I'm pointing to it on my screen on my iPhone. But this is your countdown timer. 1,000 seconds, about 16 minutes. And I checked that with a timer. So I set it, had my countdown timer going, went and had a cup of coffee. Now you can see this at the moment when this is in zero mode here, in countdown mode. Never mind the sun low, never mind all that stuff we don't know anything about. But this is counting down in the cycle, so every 16 odd minutes it will actuate this, as you saw at the beginning of the video. And the direction that it actuates this in is going to depend on the orientation of this sensor. Right? And I haven't got to that point yet. So if you've got one of these, and I'll insert a photo and some type information about what this is when I upload the video. Yeah, my mate's actually using this for up-down orientation, not east-west, and he said it worked originally, and I can believe that because I suspect it always worked properly, and he's lost the instructions, so yeah, we're decoding. We're like the Egyptologists trying to work out how they built the pyramids, I think, but this is a lot easier. But you can see the countdown time was working. At the beginning of the video, I came in on the arse end of the countdown. And from there, you can see that. So if you've got one of these and you're having trouble with it, the first thing I'd suggest is you look at the wiring. Here we go. This was the wires that came out, and it's this black wire here. That was the critter. Now, I've terminated it, but I had to use some 400 grit paper that's all I had, not special, a bit of sandpaper will do, but to get the black off, and I've got some photos, But yeah, that's all I've done is set. This is a bit of a mess here, but there's my battery. That's the 12 volts running this thing. The display's on. So in the field, you would use the quit button 5-second method. See if I can get everything into shot here, but you get the drift. 5 seconds on the set button or the quit button. There we go. The display's off, just to save the display, I guess. So you need this remote control, because originally when this got left with me to fix, I didn't have the remote control. So, and there's no manual facility or button or anything to do what the remote control does. And this is vital. So make sure you've got one of these. If you've got one of these, right? Stay tuned.